Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Ring Handicap, this time on the Richmond course. It's been a little while since the London course has come online, so the Richmond course is a very flat course, so suits potentially a bunch sprint or a big engine who can pull away and make a breakaway stick. We'd just like to point out in this video that we're on the event module. We definitely welcome all riders, but if your handicap is not correct at the time of the event, you won't be in the commentary and you won't be part of the results. We'd love you to come back to the event and just register in at the Facebook page so you get your correct handicap weight, which will ensure that really it's the fairest and funnest and best training ride for everyone who participates. And once again, if you can wear the basic 2, that is the green jersey, it certainly makes it a lot easier for organisers to know who's actually in the event. So racing is live now, and as we just see some early stages, this is Juice and New, who have already fallen off the back there. I'm not sure what's happened there. We'll come back to them later on. But the riders in the event that we know today are Matthews, Leach, Burns, Howard, Jan Howe, I hope I pronounced that correctly, from Portugal. Was a late arrival at the event, Corral, so he's been given the maximum handicap. I'm not sure he was totally intending to sign up, and I think he may struggle. We'll see how he goes. Barnett, Davies, ride organiser and Bumblebee, Chiba, Ross, Stokes, previous winners, Cycles, Rowbottom, James New, Chester, Kitson, Constabile, McBrien, Rowney, Sweet, Chibowent, Juice and Plummer. And I think I've seen even Scott Riddell, although I don't think he's part of the event module, so he possibly didn't quite have time to register properly. So we're in the early stages of the race now, I guess, and we're just seeing here the power of the group. They just keep bunching back together. It's going to take a huge effort at this stage with 35 kilometres still to race. And as I say that, we see Constabile just test the waters just off the front. I think it's a bit too early in the event to be trying that type of move. And the group quickly reels him back in. As we see Stokes just stopped on the road, stopped dead. So some sort of technical problem there, I'd imagine. And this is interesting. New and Juice here riding side by side. We're a long way from home, but they're sort of 40 seconds back from the main field and riding together. So that's something to keep an eye on as the race rolls on. Back through the group with Howard, and this is Ross riding with Plummer. And Kitson 20 seconds ahead. So the main group 20 seconds ahead of these riders. Riding with Ross now and Plummer. So they're a little bit back, 20 seconds back from the main group. Main group currently, this is them now. We're seeing riders like Chester, Rowbottom. Bit hard to follow there. This is Ross and Plummer still. So they've fallen further back actually. They're 42 seconds adrift now. We have seen Anthony Plummer do well on the flat Richmond course before, but possibly not to be today. He'll have to make back a lot of ground. This is McBrien now, so just Barnett and Rowbottom to McBrien, trying to put some pressure on and looking like they might be able to split the group here. It's strung out, people like Matthews, Kitson, Rowney, Davies, Leach, they're strung out. We're seeing a lot of other riders on the Richmond course today. Ordinarily at your weekend club ride, if you hang out in a pack that you don't belong to, you'll be heavily berated, but there's nothing really that we can do about that on Zwift, so I guess you'd call it canny racing and using other riders to your advantage with a lot of other events on concurrently on the Richmond course. So we're with Burns, Burns is in the red and black strip, I believe, riding alongside McBrien at this stage. So the big main group is splitting up now. We're seeing McBrien fall back from leaders Barnett and Rowbottom, through with riding with Leach now and Matthews. As we go through the field, this is Rowney a little way back, and then Constabile, who if he can just maintain touch with this group, they might be able to help him. Chester out of the United States, the Bumblebee Davies, and then back to this interesting threesome, if you will, New, Juice and Plumber. There's another couple of riders in there not part of the race. So this is the head of affairs now. Barnett riding strongly as we look over his shoulder. It's a way back. It's 10 seconds to Rowbottom. So he's looking good at this stage. This is interesting. McBrien has been caught and passed by Kitson and Burns amongst others. This is Barnett riding for the win. Great win. He's been off the front solo. Barnett, great win. Rowbottom now coming home in second. So Barnett first, Rowbottom second. There's a group of 2 or 3 coming up now. Leach and Kitson. Important, that's why, to see the green jerseys. This is Leach in front, but I think that's Kitson out of the saddle coming in the other green jersey and just swamps him. So Kitson to Leach and Burns in that little group. That's Burns coming across the line now. McBrien will be next. He faded towards the end of that race, really. Matthews doing well on 183 beats a minute. He's worked hard. We're going to stay with this little duel now. This is an interesting little battle based entirely on spite. This is TBR founding members Davies in the Bumblebee and Rowney leading him out. These two are full of banter and often at each other's throats. Not often do they come together, and this is Dino leading it out. He's gone for his sprint first. He's at 4.3 watts per kilo or 5. We're looking at Rowney now doing 880 watts. His heart is racing out of his chest, 182. This is Rowney touching on 8 watts per kilogram, and he's going to come and overhaul Davies. Davies cannot respond. He is done. So Rowney next in an outstanding sprint, really. Davies went too early there. So Rowney back to Davies, and then Constabile coming across the line in a pack of mixed riders. Following Chester now, who's just behind Juice and New. Juice and New have been together since the beginning of this race, and look at this sprint here. This is Juice leading out early, and James New with a ride on his shoulders, and he just gets it! Oh, I'm calling that to New, an absolute photo finish. So recapping race order, a great win to Barnett, Rowbottom second, Kitson third, then fourth Leach, Burns, a fading McBrien, Matthews, Rowney in a great sprint over Davies, Constabile, a photo finish between New, who touches out Juice, Plummer, Chiba, Ross and Howard. Apologies to those we've missed out on. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you next time. Good night.